Today marks my 100th video posted on YouTube. I can't quite believe that I have filmed and edited and posted 100 videos, but here we are, and I'm super excited that this channel is growing and that it is helping therapists in private practice like you. I thought it'd be great to mark the occasion with an interview, and who better to interview me than my resident guest on this YouTube channel, which is Tamara Howell. She was instrumental in me actually getting on YouTube in the first place. There's been lots of people that have helped me actually get online, and we talk about that quite a lot in the interview, but I literally couldn't do this alone. I couldn't create all these videos, post them, write to my newsletter, see clients, work on my business if it wasn't for other people helping me out. And so I really want to thank those people. So number one is Kate, who is my PA, who I literally couldn't do this without. She has been instrumental in encouraging me and helping me get everything up on time, reminding me to do clips and other things. So she is really my right-hand woman at this point with YouTube, and so I really want to thank her. I want to thank everyone who's watched a video, whether that is one video or 100. I really appreciate you being here, and I really hope that I can bring some inspiration to you when it comes to your private practice management and administration, and try and make it a little bit more fun than it probably seems in the moment. So in this interview we talk about quite a lot. Number one is about visibility and actually getting online and how long that took me, which was a really long time. So you'll hear about that. We also talk about what goes into starting a YouTube channel and managing a YouTube channel. So if you're interested in doing that for yourself in your own private practice, I'm sure that'd be really interesting for you. So I'm not going to go on and on about what we talk about in the interview. I really hope you enjoy it and find some use out of it. It is a little bit different from what I usually post. So if this is your first video that you are watching, please just click on any other video on my channel and you'll see that I usually help therapists in private practice get online, get confident with admin, and reduce tech overwhelm. So let's get straight to it.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me on your YouTube channel today, Kim.
For agreeing to interview me.
I'm super excited. I've done this before for someone else's podcast, and I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite thing to do is to interview people about their journey with their platform. So can you just, for people who haven't been following you for a long time, can you just tell us when you decided to start your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so, well, I wanted to start it about at least a year before I actually did, before I actually plucked up the courage to actually post my first video. And yeah, it took me a long time. I feel like I had a lot of help to get me to the point where I was okay to post. Like coaches and even like my actual therapist and my husband and friends, like just so many people. And then I was just like, and training courses that I did, like, because I knew I wouldn't be good at it to start with, and that's not a position I've been in many times in my life. I usually do things and I'm either good at them just naturally really quickly, or I knew I would be able to get good at it really quickly, and this was something that I knew I wouldn't. I knew I would be rubbish on camera. Like, I just knew that I wouldn't be very good at talking on camera. I didn't know the editing stuff at all. I'd never done anything like that, so it was just such a massive learning curve to starting a YouTube channel, and I knew I wouldn't be good at it, so that's another reason why I put it off for such a long time. So yeah, it definitely took me a year minimum before I was able to post my first video.
Yeah, I remember that whole period, especially like the few months leading up to it. And I think for people who aren't doing YouTube or who don't understand the challenges of growing visibility, it can seem like, well, why did it take so long? Like, what was it that took so long in the process? But, you know, especially towards the end, whereas you were like gearing up to posting videos, what did you feel about the public nature of YouTube?
Yeah, I was afraid of that. I really was. Because I've been hiding behind blogs, and I'm not the best writer. Like, that's not my forte, as you would know. Whenever you ask me to prove something, I'm like, yeah, it's great, and there's like tons of spelling mistakes or grammar that I've just completely missed, because it's just not my forte. And so I'd been hiding behind blogs, and I had my mailing list, and I had free resources and stuff like that. So I was out there a bit, even social media, but I didn't post myself very much, didn't post photos of myself. And YouTube was I felt like I knew it was something I needed to do to grow my brand, as, like, for want of a better word. It was my way to get to a bigger audience without having to pay, like with Facebook ads and things like that. But it was also opening myself up to potential criticism. And I did definitely feel like an imposter of, like, I've never started a private practice. Who am I to talk about running one? Like, who am I to help therapists in private practice when I'm not a therapist and I don't have a private practice? So I thought I would get some backlash about that. Like, I really did worry about that. And also, I don't know, like, I'm confident in what I teach and what I know, but I don't know if I was confident in getting that across, like, in the way that I speak. And I can stutter a lot. I don't think I have, like, a speech impediment as such, but I do, like, I trip over words. I have word retrieval problems a lot. I'll just be like, what was that word I was trying to say? Like, so there's certain things like that, and that worried me. That's why I've never, like, gone live. Like, I still, even after 100 videos on YouTube, I've never been able to go live anywhere, because those things I can edit out. I can cut those things. I can look perfect, but I can't do that in a live. So
Yeah. You mentioned a couple of the benefits of YouTube. So you can edit, you don't need to go live. You can go live, but you don't need to go live. You can prepare. There's lots of things that you can learn beforehand. You can create a strategy. You don't need to pay for ads. What are the other benefits that drew you to YouTube as a platform, as opposed to TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, etc.?
I think I can help people more in YouTube videos. I could do, like, a 15-second reel. Like, these are the 5 settings you should set up in Gmail. But for my audience, for the type of people that want to follow me, that's not actually going to help them, because it's like, okay, great, but how? And in YouTube, I can show them. I can literally just say, like, right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Gmail, and just do a video, and it would actually help someone move the needle a little bit in their practice, even if it was just a small thing. So that was a big draw to me, because I actually knew that it would be more helpful to make the videos than, like, doing these other things. And I'd already been doing that anyway, and I wasn't growing. So I wasn't growing on social media. It's also not something I really enjoy, whereas I love YouTube. That's really all I watch. I watch YouTube. I follow YouTubers. I like all types of YouTube. I like learning on there. I like just watching people in their daily lives doing, vlogs and things like that. So I do think as well, it's like what you enjoy watching or doing, you should then create. If somebody loves writing and loves reading blogs or articles, blog. And what I liked doing is watching YouTube videos. So that's where I wanted to be, because I felt like I could get good at it.
Absolutely.
And I could be useful.
Yeah, I think that's such a great way of choosing a platform, because YouTube is a search engine and not really a social media platform. It actually can be incredibly useful, because it keeps people company while they actually learn something and implement it. I feel that social media is like a great way to connect with people, but it's not a 5-second or a 20-second reel is not necessarily going to be the thing that actually gets them to change their Gmail settings or teach them how to change things. How are people finding your YouTube? Do they come through social media, or how have you built your following on YouTube?
Yeah, so I was lucky that I can't remember how many people I had on my mailing list when I started, but it was way under 1,000, probably even under 500 people. But I always knew that when I released a YouTube video, I would let my mailing list know, so that hopefully some of them would go and watch the video. And that did help, because it meant that once the video was live, I did get some views straight away, which always helps, like with algorithms and stuff like that. But even if I look at my analytics now, nearly 80% of people who watch my videos just searched for something. So some kind of keyword is taking them to one of my videos. And it's really cool now, like when I look on like when I search for terms not in my own channel, so if I search on my personal YouTube or like on like my husband's or something like that, like I come up now, and it's really cool because 100 videos ago clearly that didn't happen. I would not even be on the page, and now I can rank really high for certain things because I've obviously got such a unique niche. I'm very specific in who I help and the things I teach as well. So that's really cool. And to know that the people that come to me through a link, so whether they've clicked through my mailing list, or obviously we promote on all of my social media as well, so some people will click through videos on one of my stories or Instagram or YouTube or something, but that's only 20%. So it just goes to show that it was a really wise choice for me, because actually those 80% of people would never have known me any other way, I don't think.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really interesting. And who are the people that you were following that inspired you? And like, who are your favorite YouTubers?
I don't really follow a lot of people in the industry. So like I don't really follow anyone who does YouTube videos for therapists in private practice. And I think I do that specifically because I don't want to be swayed in, I don't want to copy anyone. I don't want to get ideas in my head about something. I feel like I've got a unique voice and the way I teach, and I'm not trying to be a therapist, and I think most people who teach therapists about private practice are therapists themselves. So they have a different view. So I try and stay in my lane as much as possible. So the people I follow are people who teach YouTube. Latasha James, who was in the bundle last year, like she was a massive, like I followed her since 2019, I think. And it was because I wanted to learn about social media, I found her. But she also taught YouTube. There's some other people who taught YouTube, and now they've niched into other things. So I now just follow them and their lives, and they've just had a baby, and I'm just like watching them decorate a room just because they used to teach me YouTube stuff. But you just get into following someone and then you just carry on. So yeah, the people I follow probably wouldn't be helpful to like this audience, but it's just people who you resonate with for a particular thing, and I can follow people for different reasons and different parts of I follow people who are just doing things I want to do in regards to like health, or living a certain type of life that I would aspire to live like, but I just can't get there. So yeah, just different types of people, I think.
I think that's really interesting because we often find people on YouTube because they teach us something, but we stay with people on YouTube because we build some kind of relationship, don't we? And is that what you found as well? Have you found that there's some people who are still on your list that have been with you for a few years, or people who comment on your videos or socials that have kind of been around since the beginning?
Yeah, there's definitely people who I recognize, and I love that. Like, and it's so funny, whenever I get a new subscriber, I get an email. It doesn't tell me every single time. I think they have to have a certain type of channel to, or whatever, to tell me that they've subscribed. But I always say thank you. I get the email and it will tell me the name of the person. I'm like, thank you, June. Like, I just like always say thank you to my email when I get one, because I just think like that's a big thing to subscribe to someone and like be notified when someone posts a video, and that means so much more than just watching a video just because I'm bored. Like, because I do that. There's people I'm like, do you know what? I think I've seen every YouTube video that's ever been. So then you go down a rabbit hole of watching random stuff. And so to actually choose to follow someone is like massive, and it helps me out so much. Like, it really does help my channel, because the more subscribers I have, the more YouTube thinks people like me, and so that they recommend me to more people and more people see it. So it helps me, and it also helps other therapists as well to find me, and so that I can help more people. So that's all great. But yeah, I love it. I love getting comments. I reply to every single comment I get, because I don't get many, like there's not many, but I always love it when someone says like, oh, this has like helped me so much, or I've been really lucky. I haven't really had any negative. Like, one of the things I was worried about was, someone calling me out or telling me this was wrong or whatever. And I haven't had that. Touch wood, I won't start now. But like, it's really nice to hear that I'm helping people and being able to help them in this free way and give them, help in their practice, especially those that are really early in their practice and can't afford to pay for someone to set up their whole system or to like get a VA yet or something. So it's a way of it's like that first stage of me being able to help somebody.
Well, you're right. It's a really big commitment to subscribe to a YouTube channel, especially once I know I can just search for it. Like I often will search for something, but not necessarily subscribe because I know I can find it when I need it, but I don't necessarily like want the notification. So when someone actually takes the time to subscribe and follow, it's really, really helpful for YouTubers. And I always think like if you're not really sure, if you're like, oh, maybe I'll need this, maybe I won't, it's actually better to subscribe and then later make a decision down the road, because giving someone a chance to show you like these are the kind of videos that I put out, this is what I think will be helpful, gives people a chance to like build a relationship. And it's true, like some of the people that I follow, I don't really need what they're teaching anymore, but I've sort of built a connection somehow, however one-sided that is. And I quite like seeing whatever they're teaching now, especially even when they evolve and stuff. Especially because like if you're going to teach a group of people, actually you need to keep learning and keep teaching and keep evolving. And has that, I guess that's what I wanted to ask about, is what has your evolution been like along with your audience? Like what have you gone from and to?
Yeah, so when I first started, obviously I was a virtual assistant. I was working by myself. I had a few clients. My kids were super little, so like my youngest wasn't even at nursery. So I was fitting stuff in around that. Now I have a team of 5 people, and I'm no longer trying to grow the agency. I kind of skipped that part. So I have 5 people, and I was growing the agency, and that was going to be my plan, was just to grow a team of people and be able to work with more clients and do, one-on-one kind of service. Then I got burnt at the kind of end of 2022. And it kind of changed my whole trajectory of what I wanted to do. And now I have just licensed my business. So I've now got 2 limited companies. I've licensed my VA business so that I can teach other virtual assistants how to basically do what I do and work with the clients. But it wouldn't be anything to do with me once, I've trained them and they've got my seal of approval. They can then work and use all of my systems and processes. And I think that's like win-win for everybody, because it means that the virtual assistant will get 100% of the work. So they'll, whatever they're charging, they'll have to charge the clients what I say. But other than that, they'll get 100% of that money. Whereas with an associate, they would get maybe like 75%, 80% of it. But also for the clients, it's much safer for them to work. They know that they're going to pick this person to work with. That's the person they're going to work with, rather than lots of people used to come to me wanting to work with me. And I'd be like, oh, I don't work with people anymore. You can work with my team. So it's more of an honest, not that I was being dishonest, but it's more of like an honest, like, oh, I want to work with this person and you're going to get that person. Also, like, I just think what I want to teach, what I'm good at, evolves all the time. And I am a person that can get really bored really easily, which is why I think this business suits me so well, because I can change things and do different things, rather than I could never have stayed being a virtual assistant. I just wouldn't have been able to do that, because I would have got bored. In previous jobs, I changed my job every year. Like I worked in the same company, but I kept saying to them, I'm bored again. And they'd be like, okay, let's create a new role for Kim, because like they wanted to keep me, but I didn't want to do the same job all the time. So that's why, for example, we have goal getters now, because I really wanted to help people on a continuous basis make a difference in achieving what they wanted to achieve. And it's something I think I'm really good at with regards to the strategy side, and just being able to provide a space of like accountability and all the stuff that I have with my team, kind of reproducing that, but in like a bigger way, in like a membership community side. And obviously having you on board is amazing, because you've been there, done that. Experience, like just loads of things really, like trust in like knowing someone has been there and done that. And then I have the strategy in the way of like the goal setting and all that kind of stuff. So yes, my business and I have definitely evolved, and I do think that wouldn't have happened without YouTube.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because the things that stop us from doing things, what you were sharing about feeling like a bit of an imposter because you're not a therapist, but you show therapists how to run their business. It's really interesting because there are plenty of therapists who would be like, why am I going to learn how to run my business from another therapist when we're not trained in that? I need to learn from someone who actually has administrative and business experience. And yet it's the thing that will stop you from participating in that niche. And I guess I'm sort of wondering, like, what helped you move from that place of like true imposter syndrome is like, you know, unjustified feeling that you don't belong, right? So it's not like a lack of experience, it's not a lack of knowing something or being able to teach it, but just unjustified feeling that you don't belong. And so what helped you move from that space to being ready to, you know, create 100 videos on YouTube and essentially be seen as an expert in this field?
So, like I said at the beginning, coaching and therapy and all that kind of stuff, that's definitely helped
Can you say
because,
more about that? Like, what aspects of coaching? What do you remember from therapy? Like, what are the things that helped you kind of move?
okay, so specifically, I was in your coaching group pod,
Huh.
and that was everybody else was therapists apart from me. And so I remember in our first call, I can't remember what you asked us, but it was like, you know, why are you here? Or like, what are your feelings about this? And I was like, I don't feel like I belong. And I was really nervous about feeling like the odd one out. And I'd never really been in a coaching group like that before anyway. And all the people in that group throughout, I mean, I must have told them then that I wanted to do YouTube. And it was like, I was definitely in your coaching group for about 18 months, right? So about a year or 6 months before I started the channel. And all of those people and you like really helped me realize that I belonged in that circle and in the group. And so that really helped, just being accepted in a therapy coaching group really helped. And things they said, and you know, when people ask questions and I was able to give answers and they'd be like, oh, we're so glad you're here, you know, that even those kind of things was so helpful because it was like, oh, like they want me. Like, you know, and you belonging somewhere where you want to belong on a big scale, belonging somewhere on a small scale into a big scale is really helpful. So that helped. I do think just having the clients I had and growing my team and knowing that I could teach people things. So not only the therapist, but I could also teach the VAs, and then they worked with the therapy clients, and everyone's happy. So that also helped. And with therapy specifically, it was more about the things I talked about people commenting on my appearance or people commenting on the way I spoke or not feeling confident with things like the word retrieval and stuttering over words and things like that. So that was the stuff I kind of worked on specifically in therapy, I think, was getting over that. And that took a long time because I don't know, just when there's something you feel about yourself, it's very hard to like not only get over that, but get over that and then put it out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Trust the world with it.
Yeah, and you just don't know what people are going to say. There's lots of unkind people. There's lots of people that get trolled, and I'm obviously not big enough to have that happen yet, but I feel confident now that I have evidence that even if someone, I would just laugh about it. And I don't think I've really had many negative things. I had one negative feedback on something we did for free. And it was just about the way I write my emails or something. And it just really did make me laugh because I was just like, wow, like someone can comment on, I'm putting all this stuff out for free, giving, and they're not happy with that. Like there's definitely bound to be people who are like, you're too expensive, or like, why are you charging for this? And it's like, do you know what? Like we've all got to eat, we've all got to pay our bills and all that kind of stuff. And I've never not said I'm not running a business. This is just my way of helping, you know, on a big scale, and hopefully also finding people that want to work with me. So I think to like circle back to the original question, it was a lot of little micro things that helped me over a long period of time, and also just working with my therapist to like build up my confidence in the things that I feel I lack. or felt I lack. Now I'm just like, okay, fine. Like, and I think that makes me now. Sometimes I keep in the funny things in my YouTube videos because I'm just like, do you know what, like, makes you human? Like, I'm not trying to be I think I was trying to be perfect at the beginning, and now I'm just like, I'm just me.
I remember working with like a social media consultant years ago, and she worked with this guy who's got like a massive membership, not in our field, but enormous membership and loads of like curated, edited videos and a school online, and absolutely, massive. Is like, he does the advertising for Teachable. Like Teachable use him as like a part of their advertising. And I remember that she said to me, like, people only watch the videos that he makes on his phone on the go. Those are the ones that people like. They want to see him, like, just in his life. It's not that it's not instructional, it is instructional, but it's like not really edited. It's not, they just want to see him being human, not him being perfect. And that's always kind of stuck with me. And so I think that's a really interesting point. Also for people who follow you, who are going to watch this and who are thinking, oh, maybe I could kind of give it a go. Um, and so, there were a couple of things that I wanted to ask you about, like, what's your process around, like, you're going to put out 100 videos or one video. What's your process around creating videos and publishing them on YouTube?
Yeah, so I have a pretty solid process now. So I guess it's like start so far in advance, because we look at kind of what I'm going to be talking about throughout the year. So obviously I have things that I do launch. So I've got the membership, I've got courses, and then sometimes I'm not launching anything, and then I'm just more free to talk about whatever I want. Maybe there's a specific topic that's trending or something like that I can kind of talk about, like the recent one I did about better health. I can just throw ones like that in sometimes. So I'll kind of plan all the videos quite far in advance. I batch record them. So I try to do at least 3 in a day. And actually, they don't take long to record once I actually hit play, but it's setting up, like, I should probably take a picture of like my setup. I literally work on a landing. My tripod goes on my stairs. Like there's maybe a light somewhere, but then it reflects on the window. Like it's not. And that was another thing that put me off starting. I was like, I don't even have a nice set. Like I don't have something nice to look at. But you know what? I've done 100 videos sitting in this chair, just turned away from the window, and it's been fine. Um, so if you don't have a good place or you don't think there's good aesthetics in your house, trust me, like if I can do it on a landing, then you can. So yeah, I batch record. I kind of missed a step about planning it. I usually go to ChatGPT, say the video that I want to work on, kind of get a brief outline based on the information I give it. And then I don't script my videos at all, because if I script, I mess up even more, because I'm trying to remember sentence by sentence what I want to say. I'm much better kind of like free flowing. So I will have like bullet points I want to hit, because otherwise I can just waffle on, as you probably see in this interview. I can just waffle on in loads of different directions. So then I'll film them, and once I film them, I edit them one at a time, because editing takes a really long time for me. It's not, I think I'm pretty good at it, but it's definitely not my, if I was going to outsource something, it would be the editing. But still, I'm embarrassed by how many things I mess up. So I'd probably pre-edit before I send it to a new editor, just to add the nice stuff on. And then I give it to my PA. She will then write all the description for it and upload it to YouTube, do all the bits that she needs to do. We've got an SOP for that. Write the newsletter. So it's like a well-oiled machine, but there are lots of steps to it. It's not just, it isn't, to me now it's easy because I've done it for so long, but there are a lot of steps to producing a YouTube video. It's probably one of the hardest ones to do, just because there's so many elements, whereas like if I was writing a blog, there's a lot less steps anyway. And even with a podcast, you could probably record more, because you don't have to worry about what you look like. You can just record the sound, and that's okay. And also you can read stuff as well, so I could script like a podcast, because you can just read it, and it would probably be more in some ways useful to people because I'm not waffling on about stuff. But I just like video. I just prefer that. I think it's more personal, and I think people prefer to watch videos. Plus, I do a lot of how-tos, and you can't do that on a podcast. I can't show them my Gmail account and show them how to do their settings if there's no video.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's super useful for people. What about what's the long-term plan in terms of monetization? Because producing all of this for YouTube, 100 videos, recording 3 videos in a day, dedicating a day every single week to just producing like recordings, never mind the editing and all the follow-up, the admin, paying somebody to publish them all for you, create thumbnails, graphics, captions, because there's a lot of stuff in a process. And by the way, I don't have a YouTube channel and I just happen to know that stuff, you know. So there's probably loads of other stuff I don't know that has to go into it as well, right? So all of that stuff that goes in there, you're just doing that for free. And of course, you've got a business. You're going to have a second business. You know, you're building a second business as well. And those businesses pay for your free time. But is there any possibility of monetization with YouTube?
I mean, I hope so. You have to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within 365 days. So it's not like the lifetime of a channel. It's in the last year. Have you got 4,000 watch hours? I haven't really been paying attention to it. I do, you know, we look at our KPIs and things like that. I do look at what's trending on my channel, so you can see on a daily, weekly, monthly, like it's really good, the analytics. But so I can see like what videos are popular, and there's certain videos which literally are in my top 5 every single day, every single week, every single month. So that helps, because it's like, okay, well, people want to know more about this, and I've got this really popular video that it's been popular since the beginning. I should probably update, you know, ones like that. So I can look at that and think strategically how I can kind of help that along. One of them is like a power diary behind the scenes that I did right at the beginning, and it wasn't good. Like the intro, like I think I was sitting like this, like the filming, it was just so
Sweet.
Yeah, it was just not good. But it was like one of my top performing videos. I was like, I definitely need to update that now. Yeah, just in the corner somewhere. Yeah, I just looked really tiny. It was just so funny, and that I didn't have a mic. I don't even think I had a mic or anything. So I redid that one because Power Diary had made some updates anyway, and also I didn't want people to have that first impression of me if that was like a popular video. So I redid that, and that did really well, you know, having Power Diary updates. And also there's not a lot of videos on Power Diary on YouTube, so if people search for it, it's only me and kind of them that are going to come up. So I thought that was going to be helpful.
Do you take the old ones down or no?
No, I just leave them because they're popular. So
yeah,
even if that is the first impression people have get of me, once they've watched my video, they might be suggested more videos anyway. So I would never take any down, even if there are some that if I looked at them now, I would cringe. But I think that shows progress, because when I posted it, I was happy with it, you know? So it shows such progress of like, I think it's good to cringe at your old stuff, because it's like, it just goes to show how much I've grown. Sometimes
I love the old stuff. I love the old stuff. I love watching people's like unpolished, raw performance. It's like, honestly, it's like when you get to know a singer and you hear their first album and you're like, wow, this is who they are. And like their 10th album is great. They've got like a wonderful fancy producer and look at the artwork and blah, blah, blah. But the early stuff is like the real gems, you know?
It's like Eminem.
Yeah.
His albums have not been so good.
Right. Yeah. But like, you know, we really knew who he was right at the beginning, you know?
Yeah. But that's it. It's like, I think it's good to look back and see how far you've come, because sometimes you don't see your progress otherwise. And having something like a YouTube channel shows you that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's hard to look back at, I don't know, work I did or emails I sent. It's so much harder to do that than to just scroll back to my first video and just, I don't know, I think, God, she was brave, like, to post that, because I wouldn't post it now.
Well, what are the ones that you wouldn't post now? Like, what are the videos? If people want to go and check out, like, what's Kim going on about? What are the videos that come to mind that you're like, okay, I probably wouldn't post that right now?
So everything I think I talked about at the beginning, I still stand by, but obviously there are changes to stuff because I work with systems. It can get outdated quite quickly. But I don't think there's anything. It's more about the production. That's
Yeah,
all it
so
is.
less
It's not
about the
about what I'm saying.
content. Yeah, less about the content. It's quite interesting. I mean, that's the reason why I don't like have a channel myself or like going on podcasts, is because I have been and done interviews and said things, and then 6 months later I thought, oh, that's not how I think about it anymore. I don't even agree with what I said about cancellation policies anymore, you know. And so there is like a permanence. There is a permanence of it. So I think if you've been doing it for this long and you sort of stand by everything, and the only thing that bothers you is the production, then you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I do like grow and learn, and the more people I work with and the more like opinions I have from the actual therapist and how things change in the world. Like, don't forget, when I first started, we were just coming out of like COVID times and stuff like that, and I don't know if I spoke about that much on the channel specifically to like, but I know, for example, in my virtually done course, I talk about COVID in that, so I've taken that out because obviously it means nothing now. Like, people don't care about in-person hand washing or whatever nowadays, so that kind of isn't relevant anymore. But I try with all of my content to make it as evergreen as possible, which means that it would be relevant at any time. If someone searched for it in 3 years time, it would still be relevant as much as possible. So I don't really try and talk about anything that's like a, if you don't watch it this week, it's like it, because also so much goes into it and the cost is so high. If I took my time into account and paying Kate, you know, that would be a waste of my time if I did something that was only going to be there for a week. So I try and make it as evergreen as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that something that you have to think about kind of when you're creating something, is like, how can I make sure that I'm not saying like what day of the week it is, or, you know, something that time stamps it necessarily?
Yeah, I always do that. So I never talk about, I think I did one for my private practice workflow mini course that I did on YouTube before I put it on Thinkific. I said in last week's video, we talked about this, or in the previous video, because that was all linked. It was like a 7 video plus your bonus private practice paperwork one. They were all linked. But other than that, I don't say things like that, because then people who've just seen this video for the first time can get the impression that they're not in the loop, and they don't. So they're like, oh, well, if she's talked about it in the previous video, I'm just going to click off. So I try and keep each video individual, unless it was like this mini series that I had, and I was very clear that it was a mini series and they all had the same intro and stuff like that. But yeah, I never talk about something being a time, other than I've made a few vlogs. So I love watching vlogs. And so if I make a vlog, so I've vlogged like when we went to UCASAD, I vlogged the master series. The other week I vlogged a productive day just as being a working mum, and I tea-dyed my daughter's costume for her new West End play. It was like so like, it was just what I was doing that day. And I just felt like if I didn't put a camera in front of me, I wouldn't have done the stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to film it. I might not even post it. But I ended up posting it because it was just a fun video of me putting clothes away. Like, it was so not anything to do with therapy or anything. It was just like a day in my life. So I do that sometimes because I think that's really nice. I don't think my real personality comes through in the like filmed videos as much. I'm quite like a funny, sarcastic, dry sense of humor person, and obviously in my videos it's hard to kind of get that across when you're trying to teach, and also not come across as somebody who, I think if you're trying to teach something and you're being too funny or say, it kind of loses the not authority, that's the wrong word, it's like the, I don't know, it loses something anyway. So I don't necessarily let that come out as much. So I think throwing in a few vlogs, you know, once a quarter or something like that, just helps people like get to know me as a person.
Are you going to vlog the retreat?
So I want to, whatever I can vlog, because obviously I'm not going to vlog people in their swimming costumes.
No.
or stuff like that, and people are there to relax. So if I can just do it where it's just vlogging's kind of me and you and anyone who
On the
gives
way
kind of
there or
just fun
eating.
stuff and
Yeah, yeah.
showing the venue, and we can vlog some of the workshopy things we're doing, because I think that would be really cool to show what kind of we got up to, but without kind of showing people, so that they can just be chill, because that's the point of the retreat, right? And also I would like to relax little bit too. I'm glad my workshop is literally like the first thing we do, and then, and then it's all you, really.
And then you can chill, and then you can chill. But I think the vlogs, they're like, I mean, I think they're great videos, the ones that you did last year. They're really fun,
They're my favorite videos, and sometimes I do rewatch them just for the laughs, like, because other people are in them, and it's like my favorite work to edit. Like, I love looking back. And
where are our outtakes? That was hilarious. I watched that like a billion times. Is that on there?
I did as well. Yeah, that was on one of our, did I interview you or you interviewed me? I can't remember. We were talking about something, and then, it was for Ferro Bundle.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
It was so funny.
I showed my husband, and he definitely didn't find it as funny as I did. But he was like, oh, you two are so cute when you talk to each other. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, Kate as well. Because Kate works for both of us, doesn't she? And she literally was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. I've watched it 20 times.
I know. Well, we are pretty funny. So, okay. Who are all the people that help you with let's do like an Oscars. Thank you for the 100 videos. So who are all the people that help you with your YouTube channel?
Okay, so Kate is the biggest one. We brainstorm together. She's like my biggest supporter, that, like when I get to certain numbers, bless her, where's that card? I can't find it. She sent me a card when I got to like 100 subscribers, and she was like, here was to the next 100,000 or something. And she's like the sweetest, most supportive PA you could ever have. And just person in your life, really. She's such a hype woman. So she helps me out massively. And it also helps just having her keep me accountable. Like today, she's like, where is the clip for this, for the reel? And I was like, I'll do it. So just things like that, just having somebody to kind of remind me what to do when I have like a million things in my head is really useful. Like everybody who watches the videos, because that means a lot to me. It means a lot when people click and watch a video, however long they watch it for. And the ones that watch it like the full length are just amazing people who just watch my videos from start to finish, because there are definitely people who do that, which is really cool.
And we need 4,000 watch hours in 365 days. So like, even if you don't watch the last few minutes, let it play.
Yeah. Just mute me and let it play. Yeah. I tell my stepdad to do that. My stepdad watches every single video I've ever posted and shows everybody. He works on the trains, and he shows everybody like, oh, look at my stepdaughter. Look at my stepdaughter. I don't even think he calls me a stepdaughter, just his daughter. He's like, look at my daughter. And like just random people on the train. And if like someone's a therapist, he gives them my business card. He's like my biggest hype man. Yeah, so he's like super cool too, and he'll definitely watch this and be like, oh my God, she's talked about me. So that was that's sweet. So he's a great support. Yeah, you've been on my channel so many times. I have to thank you. You've probably been in like 5% of my videos.
I love that. I'm like, I never do YouTube. I never want to be on a podcast. And then I'm like on your chat, like every few videos, there's like
sprinkled in Tamara.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, so you're like sprinkled in there. You're really like the only person I've had on the channel though. Like I haven't had.
Thanks.
Yes, I don't interview. I'm not a very good interviewer. Or I don't think I am anyway. So I don't interview people. It's something I probably want to incorporate a little bit more. But I haven't done that. So the only person I've really had on the channel is you. I think Maggie's
that's a cool direction to go in. Yeah, that's a cool direction to go in as well.
Yeah, maybe that's like a skill I need to hone, is interviewing skills. Yeah, so who else? Like just my whole team anyway, like they will support me, like watch the videos, and when we have team meetings, they'll pitch in and give advice on, or like ideas for like videos and stuff like that, and they'll talk to me about what their clients are struggling with, because that will always help me. Things they've helped their clients out with recently, because things come up all the time, especially because I don't really work day to day with therapists anymore. I do have one proper full-on therapy client, but the other two people I work with are more multiple income streams, projects kind of stuff, memberships, like whatever. So it's not really the same. So I kind of rely on the team to help me with that. So yeah, I think that's it really. Other than that, it's just
Okay.
me.
So let's, use some of the skills that you've learned in making 100 YouTube videos. So if someone was to come to you and say, I want to start a YouTube channel, let's say it's me. I want to start,
Okay.
let's just suspend disbelief for a moment. I want to start a YouTube channel.
Okay.
What would be the first steps for me in actually starting the YouTube channel?
Well, I think before kind of even the YouTube channel is conceptualized, you need to know what it is. Where is your part in YouTube? Like, who are you talking to? What are you going to talk about? What is the point of your channel? I think working out that information first is really key, because some people just start a YouTube channel and they're like, do you know what? I just want to show my life. And that's fine. But they're still going to have a type of person that they're going to resonate with, or who's going to resonate with them. So I think that's like the first thing is, what is the reason you're on YouTube, and who are you trying to help? What is it you want to talk about? What do you believe in? Like asking yourself all those kind of questions first, because that's going to really help you then with the next step of coming up with 50 or 100 video ideas. And you might not use them all, but you need to be able to, because the thing with YouTube is its consistency. My channel's grown really slowly, but that's fine. I think if it had grown really fast, it would have overwhelmed me anyway. And also when you are paid to do something that you used to do for free, it can lose something. So actually I'm quite grateful that I'm not really paid for it. And I think I do get paid in other ways. Like people find me, then they join my mailing list, then they might join the membership, or they might sign up to one of my courses or something. So there is other ways that I can monetize YouTube, but I'm not actually paid. So all the work I do is basically for free at the moment. So yeah, if you can't be consistent, and that consistency could be once a week, once every 2 weeks. It doesn't need to be like 5 videos a week, which is the great thing about YouTube, because I think with Instagram, if you take one day off Instagram, it's like you're penalized, It's not like that with YouTube. YouTube are just like, do you know what? You said you're going to be here once a week. Great, you're here once a week. So you need to have those video ideas in the bank. I mean, there's so much. There's millions of courses on how to start a YouTube channel. So it's hard to kind of like give step by step. But I think getting the videos, and then the only kit that you really need, I film every single thing on my phone. I just have I can't remember. I think I've got an iPhone 13. I just film on my phone. I have the cheapest mic ever. It's like a £27 mic from Amazon. I just use that. My lighting's not perfect. I use the window light, and that changes all the time. Sometimes in videos it changes if a cloud comes over. So I just don't worry about things like that too much. I've even put videos out recently that have been like not the best color, but I'm just like, what I'm saying is so much more important than what it looks like. So don't care. Yeah. So equipment wise, very basic. As long as you've got like a decent newish smartphone, you definitely need a microphone, but again, that can be super cheap. And then an editing software. Again, I use a super basic one. I think I pay £99 for a whole year. Nothing fancy, but it does the job. And then I think you just need to just learn the basics of how to create a channel, how to upload. I don't really do much keyword research. Probably could do better if I did things like that. But we just don't have the time. We do what we can do, and that's it really. So there is a lot, but that's how I say would start. And then just watch YouTube videos. So if that's what you're going to do, see what you like about other people's videos, have a look at the way they use the description and title their videos, have a look at thumbnails that you like the look of and that make you want to click. So just do a bit of research into what you like and start there. You can learn everything about YouTube on YouTube for free. You do not need to pay for a course, but you do need to learn one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's an investment up front. There's like most things, there's an investment of time, of attention, of commitment up front. And I'm sure that people are really grateful for the amount of time that you've put into it. For 100 videos, how much time do you think has gone into the creation, editing, and publication of them?
I would say per video, and they do change a little bit, but per video, it probably takes me 5 to 7 hours per video. For most people, it would probably take them a little bit longer, just because I'm really quick with the editing. I know people who say they spend 20 hours editing one video, and I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I would never spend more than 4 hours. And that's like for vlogs, it takes longer because you're like finding music and blah, blah, blah. I don't really do that kind of stuff too much. But yeah, I think 5 to 7 hours per video from conception all the way to publishing it, writing the newsletter, all that kind of stuff. The time I pay Kate is probably, about 7 hours. So what's that, 700 hours?
Yeah, wow, that's a really big time investment.
Yeah. What's 700 hours? I'm just like curious now in like days. What's it? A whole month of my life. A whole month of my life on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is a really big investment. Yeah. How does that feel working that out?
Do you know what though? I genuinely enjoy the whole process. That's why I haven't hired out for like the editing. Part of it is because it's like, how much more am I going to spend on something that's not bringing me money?
Yeah.
But I genuinely really enjoy the editing part. So although it's such a time suck, this obviously the longest part of the process is the editing. I just really I like the whole process of YouTube. So right now, like I think I'm like 18 months in 100 videos. Like I still really enjoy it. I still really enjoy the process.
Amazing. If you were going to pick 3 ideal sponsors for your channel, what would they be? What do you think would be like the most useful for your audience to see sponsoring you?
I mean, Power Diary would be an amazing sponsor because I truly believe in them. I'm an affiliate for them. I only work with therapists who are willing to go on to Power Diary if they're ready for any HR. So definitely Power Diary. I mean, Google Workspace would also be ideal. But I mean, I would probably need a few million subscribers before they'd say yes. But, again, it's something that I promote, even though I don't earn money from. It's just something I believe in and think genuinely is the best first practice management system that people should have. A third one, it's hard because there's things that I use in my business like all the time, Canva, Metrical, like different kind of systems, but I'm not sure that they are particularly useful for the majority of my audience. So I guess the third one's kind of tricky.
Maybe like a piece of equipment or something that you use regularly that you
like Bic.
iPhone.
Yeah. I don't, yeah.
What about your editing software or something like that?
Yeah, but again, it's like I just don't know how, like for me it would be great, but for the audience, like I don't know
unless they're going to also use it for editing. Yeah, I can see that.
Because not many of my audience I don't think would use an editing software, like such a small percentage would want to start a YouTube channel. So I don't know, something to think about though on like my goals list of like people that could sponsor the channel. But yeah, Power Diary or Google Workspace would be my ideal sponsors.
Yeah, that would be cool. And if you think about like going in the direction of interviews, other than me, who obviously I just love going on your channel all the time, evidently, who would be like your ideal people that you would want to interview? Like if you had to pick a couple of people, who would your first ones be?
So names wise, I don't really know off the top of my head, but I think honestly it would be people who teach stuff I don't teach. Things that that can bring stuff to my channel that's not my area of expertise. So social media people, an accountant, because I the amount of questions I get on accounts and finance is huge. And I always reply to people and give them my advice, but I always have to caveat, it's like, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a financial advisor, and I would suggest you contact them. But here are links to HMRC, or this is what I know about sole trading or whatever. So that's like the biggest kind of comments I get on videos or emails I get is always about finances and expenses and stuff like, can I expense a cleaner for my house? And I'm like, no, you can't.
Oh, I've got an idea for someone that could come on, but I'm just sort of thinking like, oh, if anyone is watching this and thinking like, I provide a complimentary service that would be great, like, can they pitch you? Could they email you and say, can I come on the channel?
Yes, you'd have to know that I would be practicing my interview skills, but yes, it would be great. Like, I definitely, it'd be great to kind of widen what I talk about on the channel a little bit, occasionally talk about things that are not my expertise and get people who are experts and give them a chance to, get to hopefully a bigger audience than they currently have. But if not, just, just introduce them to my audience would be awesome. So yeah, I think people that do kind of complimentary things, but things that I'm not an expert in. It's one of the things I definitely need to work on is my networking. I've never really done that, but this year I do want to focus on networking with other people, because I just kind of live in your world and like get introduced to people through Bundle and stuff like that, which is awesome. But I don't ever make my own connections. So that's something I probably need to be better at.
Yeah, interesting. And also, even when you are with me with Bundle or with, whatever we're doing, or pod or whatever, people always want to know about your business. So it's, when you were like, oh, I don't really do networking, I was like, you do, you just do it for me.
I'm really bad at it. Yeah. I did great at the master series talking about your stuff and what we did for you.
And Maggie were absolutely amazing. I barely had to promote my own product.
It's so much easier to promote someone else and talk about how great someone else is and like stuff like that. But when it's yourself, like, I personally just find that really awkward, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of do this, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, getting to 100 videos, like, what does that feel like for you? For the therapists who are watching, can you give us like 3 emotion words to, put it into a nutshell?
Okay, I always get mixed up between like emotions and what's the other one, feeling. They're like different, right? Yes or no?
Feelings or emotions.
Just 3 words. Okay.
Yeah, just three words about how it feels to be at this point, like this really major milestone.
So the first one is like grateful. I feel super grateful that I have people around me that have enabled it to happen. So if I'd had no views for the first 99 videos, I probably would I have given up? Maybe I would have given up if I'd literally had like under 10 views on each video. I'd be like, this is not working. It's not. So maybe I would have given up after the first year. So that's the first one. Like, I feel super grateful. The second one is I'm a bit astounded, like, that I've managed to stick with something for this long. I have not missed 1 week in 18 months. So the first maybe 10 or 15 videos were really sporadic, but since I committed, I was like, I am going to post 1 video a week. That was my goal. It wasn't like, I did have a goal to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's always a goal, to get monetized would be amazing. But my goal really is to get 1 video up every single week. And I have not missed 1 week. And that is like, I'm astounded by that, because life happens, and yet I've managed to have this process in place where I can miss a week and it's fine because I've already batched, So yes, grateful, astounded, and excited. Like, I'm really excited for the future of my business. I feel like I'm on the cusp of doing something great. I've been really head down focused on the licensing program, and that took so much longer than I thought it would. It's taken me 18 months to pull that training course together, because it's literally everything I know about working with therapists in private practice in one course, and it needed to be in a way that it wasn't completely overwhelming for somebody. So it was real hard work to pull that together. and be something that I'm proud of, and happy that if somebody took this course, they would know how to do what I do in a way that I would be, you know, able to give them the stamp of approval. So I feel really excited about the future of my business and how YouTube is incorporated in that, and how it really is like the thing that's going to help me achieve my goals, whatever that, you know, whatever, like get to the people I need to get to, all that stuff. So yeah, they're my three, what did I say?
Amazing.
Grateful, astounded,
Grateful, astounded,
and excited.
And excited. Amazing. And where do you feel that in your body? I'm kidding.
All over. I'm tingly all over.
That's really cool. Okay, is there anything that you want to say to everybody who's watching, who's got this far in the video?
Wow, if you've got this far in the video, you must really like me and Tamara. You're gonna watch
Stay
this whole
until
video.
the end.
Yeah.
Send it to your friends.
Yes. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel.
Click here. Click here. Click here.
Wherever it is, point around. Yeah. If this is the first video you've seen, please go and watch a different video.
Why? This one's awesome.
It's great, but like, it's not going to help them too much in their therapy practice. So just pick any other video.
Yeah.
And watch that. And then if you are like, oh, okay, she talks some sense, then subscribe to the channel. If this is not your first video, then thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Tamara, for agreeing to interview me again.
Thanks for having me on your channel again.
Yes. When will you be back next? 110 videos?
Oh, that's not very far away.
It's not. Oh, it might, because that's the retreat, I reckon.
Do you bet? Yeah, so it might be. It might be. Yeah.
See you in 10 videos.
You never know. I might feel inspired to go and create a YouTube channel after this. And then you can interview me.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I reckon we'll see you on YouTube one day.
One day. On other people's channels. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me on your YouTube channel and for sharing all of these insights and your gratitude, your feeling of excitement and being astounded with us. And for the inspiration as well, for giving people ideas and giving them an idea of what kind of work goes into this, because you know, you've appeared every single week, you've made a video, you've given people your time and your experience and information, implementable information, I might add, not just theoretical information, but stuff that they can actually go and integrate into their practices. And you've been doing it for free. And now we actually understand that that's taken probably over 700 hours to do that so far. So thank you.